Aside from coming home from Portland with a few wins under your belt, what are you hoping to see from your team on this trip?
Well, I think a couple things, Adam. I think one thing a tournament like this does is it really allows you to develop your bench, your depth. In some ways, you're kind of forced to do that because, you know, looking at the tournament to be able to play 3 games, especially the competitive field that exists, you're going to have to be able to get contributions in all 3 games from more than just your starters. And based on the fact of kind of number one where we are in our season as we're developing, plus the competition that we'll face there, it's going to give those bench guys and our team, I think a great opportunity to improve, to compete and play against some of the best programs in college basketball. So, you come back from an event like that, I think we'll have more answers. I think we'll also know, the things that we just have to continue to develop and get better at. But this will be a tall order for the depth of our team. We're going to play guys, and how our bench plays will be one of many factors, I think, to determine our success there. But I do believe that it's a great opportunity in the month of November to learn more and more about your team and give those guys that don't start the game 3 really great opportunities to play.
You know that you get to play Florida. That's the only one of your opponents that you're absolutely sure of. What stands out about the Gators?
Well, very similar to Indiana, then they have, a big guy on their team who's among the best in college basketball in Castleton. He's averaging right now, if you look at his points per game, 25. They do a great job of playing through him. He seems to be involved in almost every offensive possession. He's maybe a little bit more away from the basket, skill-wise, than a guy like Trace Jackson Davis. But make no mistake, if you can average 25 points per game through the first 3 or 4 games that they've played, that it's really all you need to know. So, and Florida's a formidable foe. SEC team, a team that has a new coach as well, and I think they're really putting things together and have an opportunity to have a very, very good season.
With Colby, he came back from the ankle, played 36 minutes against Indiana. Have any lingering effects from that, or do you anticipate that he'll be good to go in Portland as well?
Well, I think our shared goal with Colby in this situation is to allow him to be the healthiest he can be on Thursday. He had a significant ankle injury. We're probably out of the worst part of it. I credited Colby after the game, and rightfully so. The fact that he played the minutes that he played and was as effective as he has not really practiced in eight days. So, tip of the hat to him, his competitive spirit, character, talent, and our training staff and him really worked together to put him in a good position. So when we left the game, you get beat up a little bit, no lingering effects, no more significance to his injury other than it's still there. And we just hope that each day as we keep getting closer to Portland that we feel better, Colby feels better. So we're just being really smart with him right now, and that he's doing kind of parts of our practice. But I think the number one goal is just to allow him to be the most healthy he can be. Because of your earlier question, we're not going there to play a game. We actually are going to play 3 games in 4 days, which is a tall order if you're healthy, let alone if you don't feel good. So he's making progress.
With every game that you play, you have access to more data about your team. You know what you do well, you know where you struggle, you know what you need to work on. And sort of getting a better picture of your team, I think that there's probably things that stand out that you're really pleased with, and then there's other things like defensive rebounding where you're probably not where you want to be. Is it as simple as guys just need to block out, or is it more complicated than that to sort of fix that issue?
Yeah. I'll start with the positives. I think we're off to a pretty good start on offense. I think we play well together, share the ball. We've invested a lot in a certain style of offense, And I think that we have a good makeup to be able to play that style. And, you go back to the Indiana game, if you score 79 points in a game like that at home, you hope at the end of that game that that's enough. The fact that it wasn't enough reveals the bad. And, we are very, very much a work in progress as a defensive team. Our rebounding is at the top of the list. We just have very little physicality. We have some guys that have to rebound better per minute played. Whether you're a big guy or a guard, it has to be more important. We have to coach it better. We have to be more physical. But when you give those teams second shots, man, it breaks your back. And that wasn't the entire storyline the other night against Indiana, but that was a big part of it. There were just too many plays defensively where they missed their first shot and they got second, third, and they converted into fouls or points. So rebounding is a big, big part of it. But, I could keep going. There's other things beyond rebounding. I'm actually surprised to some degree of kind of where our starting point is defensively. And I'm also very concerned because, our schedule isn't really set up to develop that. It's either you got it now or you don't, and that's what Portland will reveal. We're playing against ready-made teams that are good, teams that have high goals themselves. If you get out of the way when a shot goes up, it's just not going to go well for your team. And right now, that's how I would describe our rebounding. We bail. We don't enter the fight, and it's like a line of scrimmage in football. You can talk about all the other things, but if you got nothing on the line of scrimmage, I mean, it's a tough night, and that's our line of scrimmage at Xavier right now. Can we, when the shot goes up, secure the rebound? It's been very, very difficult for us against every team that we've played, not just Indiana.
Coach, do you prepare differently playing 3 games in 3-4 days? Do you prepare differently, or do you still have to keep that focus on Florida and kind of hope for the best and move from there?
Yeah, all eggs are in one basket, which is Florida. But, because it's November, we're working on all parts of our game. I mean, so that kind of takes care of the second part of your question. Hey, you're going to play a second team and a third team. We have to get ready for zone defense, even though Florida may not play zone. Well, the next game could. We have to develop our rebounding. We have to get better at the things right now that we're trying to be better at, in addition to, I think, getting the most ready we can be for game one, because that's the team for sure that we know we're playing, which is Florida. And then, getting ready for 3 games in 4 days, just trying to be smart with our practice time, making sure that we have hard practices, but no reason to be out there any longer right now than we need to, simply because of what we're getting ready to do. We want to be the healthiest and most ready team we can be when we get there.
This game's on Thanksgiving. Do you reflect? Do you think what you're thankful for? Talk about playing Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for a million things, one of which is thankful to be here at Xavier, thankful to coach this team. I do believe in our team. I think we've got a good group. We're off to a better start on the offensive side of the basketball than the defensive side. And, I'll be thankful when we fix that.